Well, maybe one of the better weekends we've had in a while around here for our program. Had so many great alumni in town this weekend, which is great to see, and continue to meet all of them and see a lot of them for the second, third, and fourth time. Obviously, we played great baseball all week. We had great crowds, and it was South Carolina versus LSU. So, as Coach Tanner said to me in the tunnel afterwards, that's why you're here, to experience stuff like that. And so I agreed 100% with him.
With the sweep and obviously how you won today, do you feel like this could be a turning point for this team?
Well, it's always about the next game. This was a great weekend. We got a reality check on Tuesday, and we responded the way you want a team and a program to respond. But now it's on to the next game. We need to do a good job on Tuesday because that's been a cause for concern this year. And then it's on to the next weekend. So we're going to enjoy this weekend because I think it was very important for us to have this kind of success against such a great program like LSU. But now, once that settles in, it's on to the next game.
Mark, what was the mood in the dugout when you guys fell behind 6-0, and what does this say about your team to come back like that?
Well, I'm hoping that is a great learning experience for our team once again. We fell behind 6-0, much like we did at Clemson on Sunday, a very similar situation, and we started scratching and clawing. And Bush was really, really good today. That guy's got a bright future that started for them today. And once we got into the bullpen, we were just able to scratch out some base runners, some runs, got some big hits, and it turned into a rally. And so, once again, the difference between the Clemson game and today, obviously, is we were able to not only tie it, but then take the lead and hand the ball over to Sawyer and get the last out. So pitching, we picked up Cody today. He wasn't at his best, but Eddie was outstanding, and then Sawyer was exactly what we all know he is there at the end.
To play as well as y'all did over the course of the weekend, to get the sweep, was it more of a mental hurdle or physical hurdle, do you think, for these guys to be able to come through, coming back from behind today and win all 3 games?
Well, I think it was both, actually. We made physical adjustments in our swings with those 2 hard practices we've talked about now for the last few days. We made physical adjustments to our hitters and what we were doing in preparation. But then mentally, to fall behind 6-0 against a storied program like LSU and come back and win, I think that's going to be very beneficial for our mentality. There's no doubt about it. When you do that, when you have that kind of experience, when you get in that situation again, you can draw upon that. So I think it was physical and mental this weekend.
You mentioned Eddie already, but what's it say about a guy who maybe hadn't pitched in a while to come out and give you that kind of strong outing over 4 innings?
Well, he looked fresh. He looked really fresh, and that's why it was great that we didn't have to use him in the first 2 games. And that's why you have to try to make strategic decisions over the course of a series. Do you bring in a guy like that early on in the series, or do you try to get through the first couple games so that he's fresh for today where you can extend him out like we did? The fact that we were able to score a lot of runs on Friday and Saturday allowed us to keep him in the bullpen, not have to use him, and then he was fresh today. If we had to use him on Friday or Saturday, I don't know that we would have gotten the same outing. So that's why every game, every run you score is important throughout the course of a series.
I think this is the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, that y'all have been able to use Sawyer twice on a weekend. Are y'all getting a little bit more comfortable with him and what he can do physically?
Yeah, he threw 13 pitches on Friday. And so, as you mentioned, this was the first time we were going to try to get him in 2 games in a weekend. And he's just been so good for us that we felt like it was time now to see if he could take that next step. And he did. I don't know that we're ready to use him back-to-back games yet, but because he only had to throw 13 pitches on Friday, we thought today was the perfect situation. And in that situation, tying run at the plate, Sawyer came in and was dominant. So it worked out exactly like we hoped it would.
This was, I think, the first weekend where you had TJ, Madison, and Noah all kind of back at the same time. They all had pretty big weekends, and Noah had the hit today. What did you see out of them, and how emotionally lifting was it to have all 3 guys back?
Well, I think we scored 30 runs this weekend. I think that's the offense that we haven't had all year because we've been scrambling to mix and match and play matchups and weren't at full strength. We have good depth on our team, but those are some special players you're talking about. And so Stokes being back and Hopkins being back and Campbell being back and Rowe gutting his way through this and taking great at-bats, the big home run. Let's not forget the big 2-run home run out of Rowe who's hobbling around out there. It's a team that is fighting. You know, at the end of the day, I've said it before, and I say it to our team every day. This program was built on blue collar toughness, and we're showing that right now.
Do you have any explanation on how Rowe was able to get that pitch out of the park, based on where it was located, and also have you ever seen him make that defensive play in the first inning that he made?
Yeah, he obviously had a great day. I think the shift helped him a little bit on that play, because I don't think if he would have been in normal positioning, he would have gone 5 feet on the other side of second base for the backhand Jeter play. But that was a great play to set the tone, and Stokes had the great scoop on that play as well. And then the home run, you know, Jonah was at first base, and 3-2 count, and the decision was, do we start the runner and put him in motion and try to maybe create a hole on the infield or not? You know, because if you swing and miss there, Jonah probably gets thrown out, and the inning might be over before you know it. But we said, you know what, we're here to play to win. Not going to be fearful of that. Put him in motion, and you know the ball was up in the zone, and he took a great swing and hit it out of the park. At that point, we were just hoping he would shoot a ball through the hole. The 2-run homer was much better.
Looking back on this series, and you talked about this earlier, I think on Friday, but how big was it for Game 1 and your rotation and Logan to set the tone? Your pitching was great all weekend with the exception of Cody a little bit today, but it seems like that set the tone for the whole series.
Well, your Friday night guy sets the tone, and it doesn't matter if it's an established guy or a freshman making his way. Logan set the tone. He was really good on Friday night. Offense followed suit, and it set the weekend up the way you want it to. So I wouldn't expect that to change at this point. Playing good baseball behind that rotation, so you know, barring any foreseen injuries or what have you, I don't see that changing.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thanks, everybody.